Hi everyone, it's Rabbi Dr. Jack Cohen with the Dating Shalom Bayis series. I hope everyone is well out there. Thank God, Baruch Hashem, during this Corona epidemic period, it's been amazing. We've had so many engagements, thank God. So many wonderful people have gotten engaged, probably close to 70 since the epidemic began. So I guess there's a silver lining in everything. If anyone would like my help out there to get to that point of getting engaged and get help in dating, and getting an evaluation in their dating skills or getting help in their dating skills, or would like for me to evaluate their current relationship, or help them put together a top 10 list of what they need in a spouse, or would like my help in getting the PDF of a copy of all the questions you can ask in dating, or if you have a Shalom Bayis issue that needs help or repair, you can reach me from anywhere in the world at 305-206-1916, or email me at drjackcohen18@gmail.com. I welcome your inquiries. I'd be happy and delighted to help you. This is something that I love to do. Today I would like to address a very interesting area. If you broke up with someone a while back, and here's the title of today's presentation: we broke up a year ago, should we try it again? Something that happens quite often. You go out with someone, you break up, and then they come back into your life later. Should you go out with that person or not? So today I'm going to lay down some basic principles of what you can do, a paradigm of what to follow to determine if you should try it again with someone you had gone out with and you had broken up with. At first your dating was going well, but at some point you decided not to continue. You might have had a devastating breakup, or perhaps you both agreed that things were not working out. At the time, ending it seemed like the right decision, at least for you. Fast forward to sometime in the future, months or even years later, and a friend's great idea for you happens to be the very same person you dated years ago. Or you cross paths with this former dating partner at a party, at a Shabbat dinner, or a business conference, and you realize the attraction to that person is still there. You think about dating that person again. Is it a good idea to date them again or not? So what message can I leave you with? What information can I impart to you that will help you make that decision? And it happens a lot because many people contact me as clients and as students asking me this question. Well, the answer is it depends. Ask yourself, what's happened in your life since your breakup? Life circumstances change and people change. The reason you broke up may not be relevant anymore. Both of you may be wiser, more mature, more flexible, or more ready for marriage than you were when you dated the first time. Let's say the first time you were observant, you were religious, and he or she was not. And 2 or 3 years have gone by, and that partner has climbed tremendously religiously. You now have much more compatibility and can entertain the possibility of dating again. For example, 27-year-old Tehila is more worldly and self-confident than the unsophisticated small-town Tehila who dated Shlomo 4 years ago. She remembers thinking that he was a nice guy, but she felt overwhelmed by his self-assurance and ambition and decided not to continue to date him because he was too much of a city boy for her. When they met again, sitting next to each other at a Friday night Shabbat dinner, they eased into a comfortable conversation that continued long after the meal ended. So Tehila is wondering, is Shlomo less intense, or am I just more comfortable with him than I was when I was younger? And decides she'd like to possibly date him again. Again, another case. Miriam never wanted to get serious with any of the guys she dated. No one felt right to her. After seeing a succession of roommates develop close relationships and get married, Miriam decided to confront whatever was keeping her from having a relationship. An insightful dating coach helped her work through her feelings of resentment, distrust, and fear. And in time, Miriam felt ready to date with a view towards marriage. I just did that with someone who called me from Yerushalayim, from Israel. She had been divorced. The person was not such a good guy that she was married to previously. He cheated on her. He had drug issues and all types of other issues. And she had trust issues. So we worked it through, and I was able to give her the skills that she needed to be able to trust her current partner, because Baruch Hashem, she's going to get engaged very soon and get married. So there you go. A good dating coach can help you with a lot of potential issues that you may have and help you see through them and get out of that tunnel so you could see light. A friend wanted to set Miriam up with a man she had briefly dated a few years earlier, and Miriam felt that this time she could actually look forward to going out with him again. There are other situations in which it's worthwhile to consider dating someone a second time. For example, Jacob dated many women when he was in his 20s, but was never really anxious to get married. Now that he's 32, Jacob has decided that he's finally ready to build a life with someone. Some people grow up a little older. He's heard that Sharon, who broke up with him a few years ago because he wasn't ready to move forward, would consider dating him again if he really has become serious about getting married. It's been 6 months since Cheryl broke up with Danny. Here's another case. She's done some soul searching and realized that she made a mistake. Danny had the quality she was looking for, and she really cared about Danny. She'd been worried what her friends would think, since Danny was less polished than the men she usually dated. She fell into the classic, what's called the classic Yenta trap. That when you're dating someone good, matches you, compatible with you, meets all the basic requirements of your top 10 list, but you're concerned about what others will think. And the yenta trap is when you're worried about what the yentas will say about you, instead of focusing on what you need to make you happy. Looking back, Cheryl realizes that this was the wrong reason to end it, because he had so much potential, and she has asked a friend to approach Danny about the possibility of resuming their dating. Now, here's my commentary. Because people's outlooks, values, and sense of who they are can change as they mature and get older, a relationship that seems improbable at one point can look very different sometime later. If you're dating for marriage and are thinking about starting a relationship with someone from the past, first ask yourself the following questions. Do we have compatible values and goals? That's critical. Next, are we headed in similar directions in life? And does he or she have several personal qualities that are important to me? These are prerequisites for any potential relationship. Then ask yourself the following. How have I changed since we stopped dating? What have I found out about the other person that tells me he or she may have changed? What's different in each of our lives that makes this person sound like a possibility for me now? Because if they haven't changed and you're just thinking about starting it up, you're doomed for a second failure. So you have to ensure that you've changed or they're changed. Number two, what's the reason we broke up in the first time? Be honest with yourself about this. It could be that passage of time has colored the way you remember your first go around, so that you recall more of the good times and less of the negative ones, which is not good. Were these differences you could not resolve? Character traits you disliked and couldn't ultimately accept? Behaviors or other issues like fear of commitment or addictions or emotional instability your dating partner needed to work through? And have they fixed all these issues? Have these areas all been resolved? They may have receded from your memory, but they won't magically disappear in real life. And if they're still present, they'll probably be the reason you break up again a second time with the same person. Number three, is it possible that the changes we've gone through will enable us to resolve the reasons we broke up? Have our life circumstances changed enough so the issue no longer bothers you or him or her? Or maybe it's not relevant anymore? If something that was a major obstacle to you moving forward at the time is still an issue, are we both willing to discuss it now to try to reach compromise or a solution? Because if that obstacle hasn't been eliminated, you're just dooming yourself to another failure. If both of you feel reasonably confident that the reason you broke up is no longer relevant, try a second time around. Date again. While you can't expect to pick up where you left off, you'll probably know enough basic information about each other to skip the uncomfortable first stage of dating. Your conversations can be more focused and purposeful, and you can feel comfortable enough to have fun together. You may find out that while your first round of dating didn't work out successfully, the second time around, it may be the right one for you. I wish you the best of success, and if you have any questions on dating, or you have a similar question about dating someone you dated once previously, or any issues related to shalom bayis or shidduchim, or need help in getting matched from anywhere in the world, please reach out to me.